When I think of Islamophobia, I think of like people not wanting to sit next to someone like on a plane because of the way they look, or because they look Muslim, or like just assume that they're a terrorist in any way.
What comes to mind for me is recent terrorist attacks.
I feel like all the time the news is showing some form of attacking or aggressive behavior, especially in like the Middle East or Middle Eastern people on Americans. So I think that there's definitely a connection between social media and the news and people's rising fear of Islamophobia.
Most of the time, the only thing we see in the media is depictions of violence with Muslims, and not necessarily the benefit or like the good things that they do in the world.
I definitely think that there's going to be an effect on Muslim American children. As somebody who wants to be a teacher, I have to be especially aware of that. And I mean, bullying's an issue as it is, and then to top it off with being of a different religious background or having a different skin tone color, I think that's really challenging for students, especially little kids. So I don't really know if there's like a solution to that.
I feel as if Americans have an idea of what a true American is as far as looks, personality, religion. I feel like factors into what a true American is.
I think that Americans tend to be all about Americans, and if you don't fit into our stereotypes and our kind of like, community, then you will be targeted or, looked at it as like lesser.
And patriotism comes into play as in regards to like they do not want Islamic people to assimilate into our culture because they believe that Islamic people, they belong in the Middle East or a certain country where they came from, and Americans, they don't fit the American view.
I believe that patriotism is used kind of as a mask for Islamophobia, because a true patriotism would accept everybody that is in this country, not just based on faith.
Yeah, I think there is a link between the two, because when you tend to have pride in your own country, you seem to judge other cultures a little more harshly.
Donald Trump has definitely had a major role in this, because the thing about Donald Trump is he's playing to people's fears. He's tapping into everyone's fears and everyone's emotions and passions. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm afraid of terrorism. I'm incredibly afraid of terrorism. And when I think of a terrorist, it's bad, but I do think of a Muslim person.
As we've seen our first black president, and I believe, did he have Islamic roots?
I don't think so.
Well, he's different than like the typical view of a president. Islamophobia, I feel like, I would say is it on the rise? I feel like it's getting better. I feel like people are becoming more accepting in regards to like the nation like as a whole changing.
I think Islamophobia is on the rise. I mean, recently, ever since 9/11, I think it's been an upward trend. You just see more and more hateful rhetoric, especially in this campaign cycle towards Muslims. I think we can start showing more in the media the good things that Muslims do, and show that the majority of Muslims are good people.
By educating our youth, I think we can really better our future.